Minecraft's mushrooms are evil. No, this isn't clickbait. You heard me correctly. They are evil. Not only is Minecraft plagued by an evil fungus, but it might lead us to uncovering other secrets along the way. Like, what if I told you mushrooms in Minecraft represent the passage of time? Now this all sounds pretty crazy, huh? Wanna know how? Stick around to find out. Welcome to another episode of Minecraft Lore. March 25, 2021. An article is posted by Minecraft writer Duncan Gear on Minecraft's website. It's part of an article series called Taking Inventory, a series that is currently going through every non-placeable item in Minecraft. Gear also previously wrote the Block of the Week series, which went through every placeable block in the game. Eventually, he'll catch up and will have covered every single Minecraft item. Usually these articles start with a brief description of the item, what it is, how to find it, how it helps the player. But then the articles take a bit of a turn. Gear goes into how the items relate to the real world. A lot of the time, these real world to Minecraft connection stories provide us tons of insight into Minecraft's lore and history. So, what was posted on March 25th, 2021? Netherite scrap. I left a link in the description to this article, but I want to direct your attention immediately to the real-world part of the article. Gear talks about how ancient debris may have formed from old scrap metal. Recycled scrap metal is, in most cases, more concentrated in aluminum and other metals than the raw ore found in nature, believe it or not. This makes recycled scrap metal a super valuable commodity, and he talks about the lucrative industry of landfill mining. This is essentially sifting through old landfill waste and finding metal that people did not separate from their everyday trash. So this is all well and good, Ryan, but how does it fit into the idea that mushrooms are evil? The answer lies in the final paragraph. Landfill mining, if you can imagine, is an environmentally risky business. Stirring up old toxins and trapped gases is dangerous to groundwater and the clean air around it. So what do they use to decontaminate these mining areas? Fungi. I'm going to read you the last sentence to really drive this point home. Quote, "So next time you're wandering through a particularly contaminated part of the Nether and wondering why there are lots of mushrooms and scrap metal but no plants, you've got your answer." Now, let's think about that for a second. It's true, almost everything and every biome in the Nether is fungus-based. And if we take the item name Ancient Debris at face value, it is definitely the remnants of some long-lost civilization. But who left it? Some old piglin species? The ancient builders, maybe? Well, we could cover that in an entirely separate video. As fun as it is to think about that question, it doesn't really matter who left it there in terms of our mushroom story. Now let's begin the timeline here then. Some old civilization left scrap metal behind that ended up being buried deep within the Nether. Then, either placed purposefully or naturally, fungi began to grow in this new harsh environment that was created over time. Now when I say purposefully, I mean that it's possible that the beings of this old civilization tried to clean up their mess with mushrooms. Again, this is not super important to our story, but for the purposes of making the lore fun, let's say they did place it there, trying to clean up wherever they placed their trash. I like to think that netherwort farms in nether fortresses are remnants of this exact practice. Maybe this ancient civilization lived in these vast structures and they used the netherwort for decontamination purposes. So considering fungi in real life can thrive in incredibly harsh and extreme environments, it's not hard to understand why it quickly spread and took over the Nether. I also want to point out something very interesting real quick. Have you ever wondered why hoglins are seemingly afraid of warped fungi? Keep that note in mind as we continue. Alright, let's travel back to the overworld. In Minecraft version 1.19, the most current version of Minecraft as of making this video, mushrooms are seemingly everywhere. In forests both small and large, hidden in deep caves, hell, they even have their own biome, mushroom fields. Mushroom fields were released all the way back in beta 1.9 pre-release. But what do we know about them? They're rare, sure, but why are they so weird? They're in the middle of oceans, the dirt is weird, there's only mushrooms everywhere, and the only things that naturally spawn here are mushrooms. Have you ever stared into the eyes of a mushroom? Why does it look so different than a normal Minecraft cow? So uncanny. Its eyes empty voids of darkness, back covered in, well, mushrooms. It is not too far-fetched to believe that mushrooms are cows that have been infected by some sort of parasitic relationship, almost as if mushrooms have taken control themselves. Is that all? Are mushrooms the only proof of the widespread evilness of Minecraft's fungi? No, we are only barely scratching the surface. So many more questions to answer. How did the mushroom fields ever come to be? Where did the fungi evolve from? And if we believe what Duncan Gear's article is saying to be true, it seems like it's possible the mushroom infestation began in the Nether. So in that case, how did it even get to the overworld? Lucky for us, I believe Minecraft's 1.19 update has linked the evil mushroom theory together once and for all. The answer lies below, in the deep dark. Ancient cities. Desolate, scary, dark, the remnants of another long-lost civilization driven out for reasons unknown. Dimly lit only by soul lanterns and skulk catalysts, guarded by one of Minecraft's toughest mobs ever added to the game, the Warden. The Warden spawns when the player triggers a skulk shrieker 4 times. When this happens, the player is hit with a darkness effect, rendering them blind. In the middle of the city, there is often the ruins of a portal. Its teleportation location is said to be unknown. All of these facts I just listed are incredibly important to backing up these statements. The Deep Dark is one huge grove of mushrooms. Skulk blocks are mushrooms. Skulk catalysts are the spores of these mushrooms, and the Warden controlled by the mushrooms. I hope you were sitting down for that. Let's dive into why I came to those conclusions. Let's start with the Skulk Catalysts. Like I said, they provide one of the only light sources of the Deep Dark. Now in real life, there are mushrooms that thrive in deep cave systems underground. Some species of these mushrooms are actually bioluminescent and give off a light glow just like the Skulk Catalysts. And we know based on the Taking Inventory articles that Minecraft is at least somewhat reflective of real-world science. Not only that, but Skulk Catalysts also spread skulk blocks in veins when a mob dies around it. And think about that. When something dies in real life and begins decomposing, fungus is one of the main catalysts of the decomposition process. So what about Skulk Shriekers and the Warden? Again, when you trigger the spawning of the Warden, you are blinded. In the real world, being exposed to a large quantity of certain fungal spores can lead to actual blindness. So I'm going to make another set of bold statements here, bear with me. What if the ruined portal in the center of the ancient city actually just led to the Nether? And what if whatever civilization were occupying the ancient ruins actually just used the Nether as a landfill only? I mean, it doesn't make too much sense for a civilization that advanced to just survive in the Nether, especially if they have access to the Nether and the Overworld. They threw away their trash through the portal to keep the city clean, tried to control their landfill with fungal decontamination, and then it backfired, and ended up spreading to their city via the ancient Nether portal. They all had to flee and leave their cities behind. Knowing that certain species of fungi thrive in incredibly harsh environments, the Deep Dark became sort of a hub for the spread to the Overworld. And to defend the hub, the fungus that spread from the Nether evolved into having a defense system, setting traps for any humans coming to invade the fungus hub. The Warden is just one big scary mushroom. So after the fungus spread to the Deep Dark, it began slowly making its way to the surface. It started slowly infecting forests and swamps and other places. The now intelligent fungal hub started experimenting with controlling surface mobs, starting with cows. To avoid detection and interruption, the fungal hub focused its main efforts on desolate islands deep in ocean biomes. This is why it's so hard to find mushroom fields to this day. And why are hoglins so afraid of warped fungi? I'm wondering if the same fate of the ancient cities is slowly coming to the Nether. I mean, we have these piglin civilizations and bastions and all these other things. Maybe their doom is imminent as well. Hoglins know something we don't, and can maybe sense the true power of the fungi corrupting their world. That's why I believe fungus is spreading as a sort of corruption, slowly taking over the Minecraft world. There are too many bits and pieces we've been able to string together that are starting to fit perfectly. How does this represent the passage of time, though? All of this research into when these biomes and certain items were released had me thinking, what if the player is starting to learn slowly about the mushroom takeover as time passes? Think about it. Mushrooms, the small version, brown and red, were released all the way back in Minecraft Classic, seemingly very harmless back then. Then, as the player explores and discovers new lands on the overworld, the Mushroom Fields biome was added almost as if the player discovered it. The spread of mushrooms in the Nether is happening as we're playing. Remember how desolate the Nether used to be? And then, all of a sudden it started exploding with new biomes and mushroom variations everywhere. And isn't it strange how we could never get past bedrock at y=0 in older versions of the game? Then all of a sudden we're discovering ancient cities 50 plus blocks below the supposed lowest point in the world. Almost as if the player discovered ways to get below y=0 and is beginning to uncover the secrets of the Deep Dark. This all leads me to believe something big in Minecraft lore is slowly brewing, and the developers have a plan to keep us on our toes. If updates are more than just adding new fun things to the game and actually represent player discovery and the passage of time, well, where will the mushrooms strike next? But, as always, those are my thoughts, not yours. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're enjoying these Minecraft lore stories and want to see more in the future, let me know by leaving a like on this video. Subscribe if you're brand new, you won't want to miss what's coming. I'm sending you all the warmest hugs. Thank you so much for watching.